kind of like a Degrassi meets a CW supernatural show. Let's talk about Paramount Plus's School Spirits. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for Paramount Plus's School Spirits. This is streaming all episodes right now on Paramount Plus, like I mentioned, and features some Disney people you may recognize. This is definitely not a Disney type of show, a bit more mature. It's not necessarily as gratuitous and, nudity and swearing as much as a lot of streaming shows. It's definitely more, sort of of the teen variety. CW, I think, is kind of a good sort of starting point here for this. But anyway, definitely some people all grown up from the Disney Channel days. But anyway, before we launch into the specifics of the show here, I want to welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got a lot of great movie and TV reviews for you to check out on the channel here. Please consider subscribing down below. Even maybe click that notification bell, get alerted when I drop a new video, or just like this video, comment on it below. All that stuff does help the channel out. So let's talk about School Spirits. Like I mentioned, this is kind of a Degrassi meets the supernatural elements of those CW shows like Riverdale and stuff like that. Essentially, this follows Maddie, who is played by Peyton List, who was on the Disney Channel show Jessie, and then she was on the spinoff Bunked. So she's been part of the Disney family for a long time, but we've kind of watched her grow up in a bunch of different things. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie series, and most recently, you may know her from Cobra Kai on Netflix. So she's definitely been around for a long time. But she plays Maddie, who is a teenager stuck in the afterlife of, and she ends up investigating her own mysterious disappearance and death. So she not only is adjusting to her, newfound life in the afterlife, but she's meeting a bunch of new, ghosts and sort of learning their story, and they're kind of helping her unravel her own mystery here. Also in here is Milo Manheim, who I just reviewed recently in Disney's movie Prom Pact, but he, kind of grew up with the Disney Channel as well in some of their made-for-TV movies and stuff. Zombie High, I think, was the one series. So in any event, we get to a lot of sort of normal high school stuff. Maybe not normal, obviously, because, she's a ghost. But we see a lot of kind of similarities in the high school shows that we know and love, from, I keep mentioning Degrassi. That's sort of one of the touchstones here, certainly. But, Buffy the Vampire Slayer that has shades here, obviously, and some other things. But we get to the mysterious element of it, and then you're like, okay, this is kind of CW territory, Riverdale, Nancy Drew, all of those classic, recent CW shows. But this, to me, is better than most of them. I think they've sort of hit a very interesting tone here. First of all, the acting here is way better than like a typical CW show. I think the people in the cast, and not just those two I mentioned, but who else is in here? People I don't know, but Spencer McPherson, Kiara Pichardo, Christian Flores, they're all really, really, not Oscar caliber here, but for a show like this, it is definitely on the higher plane of things. It is a little bit, funnily enough, like CBS's series Ghosts, where, there's all these different ghosts, and they all kind of died at a different time, and they all have definite, distinct personalities and stuff, and they are interacting with, in this case, another dead person, but in Ghosts, obviously, they're interacting with a live person, but it did sort of remind me of that, and not necessarily in a bad way, and it's certainly not funny like that show is, but I think that sort of mysterious element works a little bit better for a show like this than it does on, I keep mentioning the CW because they, do this all the time, but take something like Riverdale, where, there's a big central mystery to each season, but you have 18, 20 episodes to, go through it all, and it's like, there's so many side things going on that we don't really need to care about, and it takes so long to get to the meat and potatoes. Here you only have 8 episodes, and so it's a little bit of a brisker walk through the mystery, and there aren't so many different elements to it, to tend to, longer than certainly a feature film, but it's given the liberty to go at a leisurely enough pace, but we're not like dragging it out or anything. When you end up doing the same mystery for, 18, 19, 20 hours through the course of a season, I think it gets a bit stale, and that's part of the reason I don't really end up watching a lot of those CW type shows. So here I think we have, a more elevated cast for sure, but the mystery gets sort of, we move it along a little bit quicker, and though we're also getting that high school drama stuff because she is still able to interact, in some ways without giving too much away. So it is at its core still kind of a high school show. So I think it actually will appeal to a couple of different demographics here. And it's interesting because this is based on an upcoming graphic novel. It's not based on existing material, nor does the upcoming graphic novel, come directly from the show. I guess the graphic novel was finished or something, or maybe they were sort of working on it at the same time that the show was being worked on. I don't know. But in any event, usually with things like this, it's like, oh yeah, there's this graphic novel that's been out for 10 years and everybody loves it. Let's make it into a show. Here it seems to either be the other way around or maybe just working on it concurrently. But so it'll be interesting, not that I'll really read the graphic novel, but, if you're interested, it will be, I think, intriguing to kind of see maybe the parallels between the two. But look, for a show of this ilk, kind of that, it's got such a CW vibe to it. And Paramount Plus recently did like a supernatural high school show with Sarah Michelle Gellar called Wolfpack, which I thought was below average. Here, I think the opposite. This is a pretty decent show. It's not going to win any awards, I don't think, but for all the reasons I've mentioned, I think it is potentially worth a watch. I don't know if it's getting a season 2. I don't believe we have word on that yet, but in any event, you can check out season 1. I do believe. I didn't watch all of the episodes. I watched about half of them, but I believe that it does kind of wrap up that central mystery from season 1. I'm sure there's going to be some loose ends as well. But if there is season 2, maybe focusing on a different, ghost or something. But in any event, I leave School Spirits with a B. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time with another review on Dan Reviews It. Bye.